Hello, everybody. Hey. How are you? How's it doing? Man, it's been a minute. It has been what I call a minute. No, life happens and gotta roll with the punches, right? Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Let me see. Yeah, hoping y'all can hear me because I think my sound is good. Let me see something. Oh yeah. Okay. Yes. Good. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I'm hoping you guys can hear me. Hello everybody. Hello. Welcome to Bowes. Hi everybody. It's been a long time. Since last year. So happy New Year's. Happy Valentine's Day. What else happened? Happy President's Day. Happy Martin Luther King birthday. I missed a whole lot of stuff with you guys, right? It's what it is. It's been a lot going on around here in these parts. So, thank you so much for tuning in. For all those who do tune in, and for all those who don't, please like and share. You guys know I'm coming to you by way of Facebook, um, and YouTube as well. So my business page and my personal page, just let you know. That's which way I'm coming to you guys today. As usual, you guys know y'all know the skinny and all of the jazz. Thanks for just the support, the love, for watching, for spreading the love and the word out. I'm so excited. And thank you again. Been doing some revamping, changing around a few things, getting rid of some people, adding some people. So just a lot going on, on top of moving and everything else. So life is just getting really busy and hectic. So unfortunately, I haven't been able to get on here as much as possible. So I do apologize about that. But I'm back now. So we back now. All right. So welcome everyone to Bose. I'm Lady B. Hello. I would like to read our mission statement, which I do every time when we come together, just so that you guys are aware of what our mission is. So our mission is a sisterhood dedicated to empowering the lives of women across the world. Our mission is to build stronger women from within by enhancing the knowledge of who they are and to connect with the power that resides in unity. We will commit to withstanding all adversities with poise, beauty, and love, forever showing. With poise, beauty, and love that's forever showing the essence of a woman's touch through prayer and fasting, to never giving up, to never devaluing ourselves, but we'll vow to be strong and knowing that together we make the strongest bow. So that is why we do these things. Wednesdays, we come on here and do a podcast to talk, interview people, bring inspiration, encouragement to you. And we also have our tea times. We haven't did it for January, February this year, but I do plan on having a tea time in March. So that information will be coming to you to let you know all of the wonderful things we're doing in March and April and so forth and so on. Y'all know at the end of the year, we got our Christmas ball, which we're going to do again. It's going to be bigger and better. We usually have our health and wellness event. Um, I'm thinking I'm going to do that, but it's going to be on a smaller scale. So we're probably going to still do that because I still want to have that knowledge and information spread, and I'm probably going to make that event free. um what else, other things we're going to do? We always do Mother's Day. I think I want to do a brunch this year, so we're going to get together. I have new Bull Squad members, so our team and our goal and our drive and everything that we pretty much trying to do in the city of Trenton will get stronger and better for all those that are putting their hands in. So we're praying that the Lord will bless us to be diligent, effective, and always together and on point with it. Right. So that's my prayer. So, and I'm thankful that you guys are still hanging on. buy a thread, even though it's a small thread. But thank you, I appreciate you. So tonight we're supposed to be interviewing Mr. Boone on his new book, but if I can't get him on in the next probably 15 minutes, then we're gonna have to come back to you next week because I don't want to take up any of your time. I don't want to waste your time. The next, probably. Let me turn this down. I don't want to take up your guys' time, and I don't want to, you know, I want you guys to get the full Monty. You know what I mean? So, he does have a new book out called Another Me and Me. The book is about the author. So you guys got to get this book. I don't want to talk too much about it right now while he's not on. But here's his book. He wrote this book all by himself. And it's a really good read. It's a short read. It only has about what's this, 75 pages. Yeah, 75 pages. There's chapters, and there is a really good content. So we got a couple of parts. We have an introduction, part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we have a creator chapter. I guess that's the same thing. That's 6, and then 7 is the encounter, and then the last chapter will be about the author. So yeah. So it's really easy read, quick little read. See how small that is? For your first book, not that bad. Not that bad. Go, Miss Boo. So here's his book. Y'all go check it out. I believe you can purchase this on Amazon. I think on Amazon it's $17.50. I think for his book event, I don't know what his price is going to be for that. So we'll probably get to talk to him about that. Otherwise, yeah, this is what tonight's was about, to just inspire some young authors out there who are desiring to be an author, desiring to write a book, stuff of that nature. He can share all of that information as far as his production company, how he went about it, his process, everything. We were looking to have that conversation, but I think there is a holdup at the moment. So we may have to reconvene next to the week. You may have to reconvene next week. So, you know, hopefully, he can come on in a few. I'm just hoping, but either way, hopefully you guys has had a great holiday, great Valentine's Day. Hope you shared the love. I'm hoping that you guys did all of that wonderful stuff. I'm losing weight, thank God. I'm down, I think 35 pounds now. I'm telling you. And I ain't been to that bit of gym. I ain't lying. I've been taking my apple cider vinegar gummies, doing keto and intermittent fasting. That's it. So, I mean, down. Like, the chin gone. The second chin gone. So, yeah. So, I'm excited about that. So, yeah. All right. So, we're going to take a break, and hopefully, in the next few minutes, we can get him back on. So, you guys stay tuned, okay? All right. Chat with you later. Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, hey,
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you loud and clear now.
Oh, good. All right. Good, good, good. Why do I feel like we're so far away? Hold on one second. I need to fix this real quick. Okay, that's better. All right, cool. Better, better. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. I can hear you great. This is wonderful. All right.
Yes.
So I kind of introduced your book to everyone. Um, so we don't have much time on here, so we're gonna try to keep this short and sweet. But
Mm-hmm.
I want you just to introduce your book and and just talk about the inspiration for writing this book.
Well, this first of all, this book is really a journal of sorts. Kind of like depicting my journey I had to go on myself. If you know, like in each chapter, I don't call it a chapter. I call it a part of the journey. I always refer to the journey because I think personally, I think all of us are in the portion of our lives where we're trying to define who we are, understand who we are. Life happens, things happen, and a lot of times when those things happen, it kind of like shapes how we see ourselves at times. Take my hat off. We got that on. We kind of it kind of shapes how we see ourselves at times, how we view ourselves, and I think personally, um, what really inspired me is the fact of me having to rediscover me, and a lot of the chapters, if not all the chapters, really are portions of the journey that I had to go through to come to where I am right now. And I just felt like I just felt led to to be a guide because sometimes we go through life. There's no real handbook of how to go through certain things, and sometimes we can feel like we're alone. So you feel like, yo, I'm by myself. Like, why am I going through this? Why? And just a sign of being someone saying like, I was where you were, and
Right,
this is the roadmap that I had to follow to get myself out of it.
right,
And if it worked for me, it can work for you too as well. So
right.
just understanding that concept and stressing that and hoping that it will help someone the way the journey helped me.
Well, that's wonderful. So I want to know. So I read some stuff in here, and I want you to kind of like, not all of it because I don't want to give it away. And you can just go through all the credentials as far as how they can retrieve the book later. So I want to kind of go over this statement you put in here. It's chapter 1 in identity, and it talks about um, you know, how we see ourselves, right? I'm always talking about
Hmm.
that on my show. So
Right.
here it says, um, it's a perplexing reality that all too often ends with someone committing suicide or becoming entangled in a web of criminal activity that leads to suffocating consequences of long-term imprisonment. It is it is this reality that oftentimes put put a strain on what was once solid marriages simply because the spouse was unable to find self-worth outside of having a job. And I think you liken this to a job because you asked the question, what if you lose your job? Do you cease from existing? What if you experience an accident that hinders your physical ability to live an ideal life, um, much less earn a living? Do you stop living and then you go on to finish speaking? Can you just talk about that a little bit?
I think a lot of times, like in that particular chapter, I'll ask, I pose a question of what defines you. Like, what is the thing in your life that defines you, that makes that you put so much stock in, what make you who you are? And I think a lot of times I use that example, like for most men, it's their occupation, their jobs, how they're able to work and provide and produce. For most women, it's their relationships. They find their identity in the relationships that they form, whether it be being a good wife, being a good girlfriend, being a good mother, being a good daughter. So like, and the question after that question is like, when those things fail, when there is a disruption in the relationship, when you lose a job, do you lose who you are? Do you lose sense of who you are as a person or your intrinsic value as a person? And I think a lot of times what happens is, especially during this pandemic, I think the pandemic has forced a lot of people, if not everyone, to really take a look in the mirror to see themselves. Because sometimes
Hmm.
we can get so over inundated in our jobs, we get so over inundated in our relationships that we lose ourselves in those things. That when those things are taken away from us, it's like we're standing out on mid. We're like we're stranded in mid animation in the
As if
world,
we're empty and have
and
no
then we're
other
empty.
worth, right?
Right? We have no other worth, no other value, and like our our failures begin to define who we are, not so much our intrinsic value define who we are.
Of who we are within.
And
Exactly. And I
within, yeah,
agree. I agree to that. Like I really like what you said because, you know, a lot of people do that. You know, they will go through traumatic situations. Granted, you don't want to lose a job, right? But it's not the
mhm,
end of the world, you know, because if you apply yourself, you can find another one. And if you think like that, if you know that I'm worth not having to deal with that, or if they don't find my what am I trying to say, my work ethic
value, yeah,
valuable enough in this company, then fine, I'm not gonna beg and fight to keep something. I mean, unless it's something that you love. If it's a job that you love, then yeah, by all means, fight it out. However, as long as and hard as you can. But
mhm,
if there is obviously something in there that just ain't gonna unveil itself, then therefore, you say within yourself, okay, well, just got to find another job.
and and,
Simple.
and 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 to be honest, the you that got the job you lost, the same you can get another job. Like you didn't change, the job changed, but whatever skill set you had that got you that job, another job out there that's looking for that same skill set. But if you lose yourself in the moment, if you lose yourself in what's going on, you'll find yourself being depressed. You'll find yourself being stagnant. You find yourself being stuck. And then what happens is you lose the drive to go out and find out another job because that one job became the definition of your whole entire existence.
Exactly. I call those people volcanoes because you notice volcanoes don't move, but all they do is spew out terror and detriment
Erupt.
and erupt. Sorry. Yes, all they do is erupt violence and hurt and pain and terror and tear up cities and stuff like that. And they don't even move. They just stay in one spot and just erupt and tear up stuff. And that's what I call those
Right.
kind of people. Those kind of people are volcanoes because there's no reason why something as the job that there's so many of can cause that much eruption in your life. You know what I'm saying? I can see if it was wrong. Like, I went through this experience and it was hard and it was difficult because, I was wronged. And it's different in a lot of case by case situations. But at the end of the day, you have to see your value to say, well, is there loss? Is there loss? Because I know who I am. I know my value. I know my worth. I know what I applied to the job. I know how I gave myself to this job. So, and if they don't see the value in me as a teacher or whatever, then bye. Bye, Felicia. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah. And people don't understand is like when God created you, He created you as an answer to somebody else's question. And
That's
and
good.
if you get caught up in the fact that you were an answer to their question, you'll lose out on the purpose that you were purpose to answer someone's question. Like
Right.
someone needs what God created you with.
Yeah,
And
that's
if
good.
and and if you don't, if you allow trauma, I got a chapter called "When Trauma Defines You." When you allow trauma um to begin to dictate your identity, you'll eventually become the pain that you experience.
Yeah.
And once you become that pain, then you never experience healing, you never experience the wholeness, you never experience what God created you to be.
Yeah,
So
that's
I, so
definitely true.
so I think that's definitely one of the drives, because to be honest, a lot of this book, the journey, I really started writing this book almost 10 years ago. This book is 10 years in the making. But I had to experience some traumatic
Wait,
events in my
it's
life.
10 years in the making for only 75 pages?
Trust
Can
me.
you explain that to me?
I'm going to explain it to you. I'm going to explain it to you. One, most people tend to spend ain't that long anyway. Most
But
people,
this 10 years.
yeah. It's well, I got other books that are coming out in the near future about the other 10 years. But as far as in regards to like this journey of discovery of oneself, it took some traumatic events that happened to my life to kind of shake me to my core, where like I needed God to redefine me because I lost my definition.
Oh, that's
I,
good. That's
I
good
like
stuff. Oh,
I,
that's
I,
good
I,
stuff right there.
I lost my definition, so I needed to go back to the original creator to redefine me, because I remember one night in particular, I went down to this men's conference, and in the worship experience of the men's conference, God came into the room and told me, "You're not what they said you were. You're not that. I know how you feel, but you're not that. This is who
Mm.
you are."
Oh, wow.
And that really began the healing process within myself, because sometimes like life can, if you allow it, life will beat you to death.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it's
So
not, the word I want to use is it's not reliable, right?
not, it's
It's
ever
not
shifting, ever changing.
sustainable and it's not reliable because it's up, down, in, out, up, over. It loops. You go through so much different stuff, so it's not consistent. It's not reliable. It's not something that you can sit here and just be like, life is got me steady. It got me straight. It got me, rolling.
Hmm.
Smooth, and it's not. So why depend on something that's unstable?
The part of the Bible in Ecclesiastes 3 says like a time to live, a time to die, a time to mourn, a time to weep. Those are different extremes. So let me know that life is full of from one extreme to another.
Right.
Like, but the key reality is like trying to find a true center, trying to find
That's
a
it.
middle ground. Whereas if everything go crazy, this middle ground right here is going to keep me stable.
Absolutely.
And that's the point of the book, is trying to help people discover that middle ground.
So, what would you say is your favorite chapter?
Oh, my favorite chapter, my favorite chapter is the deconstructing of the creator. That is my favorite chapter. That is my favorite chapter for a number of reasons, because it
Why?
allows me it because it really deals with, I believe, with some of the, like the fundamental like situations that we go through, um and some real philosophical questions that most people have that most people don't talk about, like the argument against the creation of God. Like, does God really exist? And I argue in that particular chapter that that for most part there's no such thing as atheists. It's really skeptics. And a lot of people are skeptics because their question is, if God is real, then why is all this suffering in the world?
So, I want to kind of challenge you a little bit. I'm gonna be an what do you call
Devil's
it?
advocate, devil's
Yes,
advocate.
yes. In this moment, just for right now, right? Because I want to know. Can you really deconstruct our creator? Can you really do
You
that?
know, the premise of the argument is, and what I say is, if you can't deconstruct, if you cannot deconstruct a truth and build back on that truth, that statement still remain true, then it wasn't true in the first place. If I can't break down my relationship with God and my belief in this, if I can't break down my belief in in the existence of a God, of there being God, then one, I was poorly taught. That's one. I can't defend my faith. And secondly, then I had to question whether I really believed what I said I believed. And to be honest, for me, my deconstruction of my idea of God came through my trauma, because up to that point, I realized that my relationship with God was mainly based off of a religious behavior and not a relational experience. So I had to learn. I learned that God can take my rawest feelings, my rawest emotions, and He's not threatened by it.
So it's not really deconstructing the creator, it's more or less the process
It's the more or less describing the process, and like and
of what
also
he
in the book
creates or how
of
he
what we
goes
create,
about creating it, right?
he goes about creating, and also understanding that a lot of the things that go on in this world is a part of is the blessing and curse of God's greatest gift to mankind. And God's greatest gift to mankind is free will. Your ability to choose is God's greatest gift. And I remember I had a conversation recently with my brother, and I said, the reason why I know that God is love is because love cannot exist without free will. If love is absent of free will, there's manipulation. So because he gives me
Yeah.
free will,
Wait,
because he
say
gives me,
that again.
if love is absent of free will, then it's manipulation. Then God don't love me; He's manipulating me. But because I have free will, the freedom to choose, it shows that He wants me to love Him back on my own accord.
On my own term. I know that's right.
On my own accord, He's not going to force me to love Him. He's not going to force me to choose Him. But then that's the free the after but the presence of free will also open opportunity for somebody not to choose Him. So all this suffering we see in this world is really because man didn't choose God.
So is
Man
that
didn't
what you mean
choose.
when you say I'm sorry, I mean to cut you off, but
Yeah.
is that what you mean when you say when choices are made, consequences are created?
Yes.
Mm, that's good stuff. It says the result of our choices are often more far reaching than what the initial choice initially appears to be. That's good stuff right there. That's some good stuff. It really takes an intrinsic look at how you choose your life and how you think about yourself with your choosing your life.
Right.
That's kind of
Right.
what that's the feel it's kind of giving me. You
Yeah.
know what I'm
Because
saying? Like
mhm.
for you to say there's another me within myself, meaning not just the Holy Spirit that's supposed to dwell within you, but who I guess the identification of who you really are within yourself.
I think
Or can
and
you
also
explain your title to
okay,
us?
in the book, I present the conversation of the contrast between the created you and the born you. Like the created you is God's original agenda in His mind about you before He formed you in your mother's womb. That's
Right.
God's original agenda. The born you is the environment you were born into, and a lot of us are shaped and molded by the environment that we were born into, defer from the original God's original idea when He thought of you. Like you weren't born to suffer. Like you weren't created rather to suffer. You weren't created rather to fail. You weren't created to be in an abusive relationship. You weren't created. That wasn't God's original intent when He created you. But because you were born into but because you were born into an environment that produces those things,
Right.
that brings about those things, you begin to live that reality.
Yeah.
And God's whole agenda in life is to get you back to His original intent of what
Yeah.
you thought of what He thought of you. Like it
That's
says
good stuff.
Jeremiah, like I know my thoughts towards you, thought is good, not evil, to bring you to expected end. That means I have expectation on your life
Mm-hmm.
that's
So in
greater
your
than what you're living.
experience, right. So in your experience of actually writing this book, how much of you did you find?
I'm in the book.
Or I
Like
mean,
this with this
even though it's pretty much all about you, but still.
yeah,
Was there
for
anything
me,
new? Like did you have an epiphany of anything new as you began to read and write this book?
I realized that I realized my purpose on earth. I got a better understanding of my purpose on earth. And
What
that's
is your
really
purpose?
to really be a conduit of like God conscious thought, like to be a communicator of that. And not only be a communicator of that, but it really challenged me in my own personal life and still challenges me every day to how to make that, how to allow the other me in me become more prominent than the me I've shown in times past. Like
Right.
I'm constantly evolving in the understanding of how that looks like.
Right.
But, because most of the time, like yo, most of us can only dream of the real us that we want to be. That that sometimes to achieve that, it causes you to make some scary decisions and
Yeah.
some scary
That's the
choices.
truth.
Because now you have to choose differently than what you've been choosing however long you've been living.
Yeah.
And that's the challenge, and getting over the fear of meeting the new you.
Yeah, that's the key. I think that's the key because at the end of the at the end of the day, I believe that sometimes people make the choices and decisions that they do predominantly because of fear. And if and the Bible talks about, you should not have the spirit of fear. You should not have the spirit of what? Um,
You have to be very clear about a power and of love and a sound mind.
right, but you should have the spirit of power and a love and love and a sound mind, and that's the thing. So it's like, I think fear looks so many different kind of ways, and it comes out in a lot of different ways as well. And it's like if a man who is fearful of losing his job, if he does lose that job, how do you think his behavior is going to be? It's going to be erratic.
Right, 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 right. And I think that's the reality. The bottom line is this: you have to be able to lose your concept of who you think you are to discover who you are.
Yeah, and it's,
And,
I like
and
what you said. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead. And that's why you.
Well, I
And
was
that's
going to
why.
say I like what you said.
Go ahead.
Huh? I'm sorry.
I already
Wait,
said you
finish
break it
what
up a
you were
little bit.
saying first.
No, no. What I was saying was that's why like the central figure of the book is really Jacob, who turns into Israel, because although he's born Jacob, he was always destined to be Israel,
Right.
even with Jacob tendencies. So and I think that's all of us. All of us have that alter ego that we have to fight against, that will force us to live a mediocre life, to live a life that's not fulfilling, a life that doesn't have purpose and agenda, a life that's far beneath what we were created to be and become. and we have to fight through that alter ego all the time, and the fear of we have to lose the fear of becoming that guy.
Yeah.
The fear of becoming Israel. It's okay to be Israel.
Right. And
That's it.
I just don't understand why we allow people, places, and things to define who we are instead of just knowing it for ourselves. Because this book is what speaks to that knowledge. Like, you knowing who you are, whose you are, is far more important than people, places, and things.
Exactly, and that once again that goes into the concept of like, are you nurtured to become who you are,
That's
or were
good
you
right
born
there.
the way who you are?
That's
And,
good
and,
right there.
and
And that's why people be like, Tina, you can't always blame the parents. Yeah, I do. Because children learn from their environment. Period. I work with kids. I've been studying kids for years. And children learn from their environment, what they see around them and what is poured into them, and how they're taught. And if you don't put core values in your child, they're gonna struggle to find them. Not they ain't going to find them. I mean, they may eventually find them sooner than later, or later. Who knows? But it's going to be a struggle for them. It's going to be a struggle for them to not be followers, for them to not have fear, to not be defensive. I mean, there's so many people in this world that's defensive. It's ridiculous. It's like, why do you feel the need you have to fight all the time? And you have to always
but
come to your own rescue?
because no one came to their rescue in the past. So
Right. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
you
saying.
say
That's
like
my point.
the trauma, the trauma made them who they are, and all of us, some part of your character, some part of your behavior, some part of how you display yourself has been shaped and molded by some traumatic event that has not been
Right.
addressed or dealt with.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And just imagine how free a person can be if they can come to that place and just really admit it, talk about it and deal with that, and just be free from it. So therefore they don't have to walk around and see, I did my work. When I mean I did my work, I still got more work to do. I know I do. I know I do. But when it pertains to childhood trauma, like, I did so much work on myself. So much work, because I got childhood trauma for days. But at the end of the day, like, my focus was being free, and not growing up resentful, angry, bitter, defensive, sad, depressed, um, all those other kind of feelings that you can possibly have. And
Mm.
that's what it takes. It's going to have to take you to, because my thing is this: if your parents is not going to do it, then you're going to have to. And at the end of the day, you're going to have to make the choice to see the other you within yourself, or keep living the way you living and see how well that gets you.
And to be honest, and the purpose of the book really is really to be somewhat of a form of a support system on that
Right.
journey.
I like that.
Because to be honest, like I said before, a lot of us who struggle with identity within, most probably struggle silently.
Oh,
We
a lot
don't
of people do,
express.
especially men. Men are the
We
number
we don't
one silent. What do you call it? What did you just say?
silence. We struggle silently.
Yeah,
We're not taught.
struggle silently. Yep.
We're not taught how to be vulnerable
Yeah,
in moments and to be healed. And it takes a time. It takes time for us to build up to that point of vulnerability so we can be healed.
I
And
agree.
my thing is like, and it's good for anyone. My thing is, we have to be whole individuals. If you have
Got
whole
to.
individuals, you have whole marriages, you have whole families, you produce whole children. And I
Yep.
think sometimes the problem with women at times, sometimes I think some women become too vulnerable, where they make themselves vulnerable to the wrong people or to the wrong environment that takes advantage of that vulnerability and therefore like causes even more damage.
Yeah, that's the truth. I totally agree with you on that. So, I mean, I think it's a great read myself. Tell everybody how they can go about retrieving this book.
You can go right on Amazon.com, type in "There Is Another Me in Me." Fascinatingly enough, it's the only book of that title on Amazon. Trust me, I checked it out. It's amazing. It's pretty cool. Um, Type it in, you order it, it be within your house. You got Amazon Prime, faster than normal. I'm telling you right now, it's a great book. I encourage you to get this book. This book is meant to help you on a journey to either discover yourself or redefine yourself. And I know right now that this world in this world we're living in, the world is waiting for the created you, the you that God created you to be. And this is a great book to help you and support you on that journey.
That's wonderful, sir. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Please, guys, go and get it. Do you have any information as far as when you'll be doing a what is it, book release or what is it called?
A book, it can be a book signing event coming up real soon. Right now, we're going to venue, lock the venue down. As soon as we get that locked down, we'll have information out there on Facebook. We're going to share it on Facebook, on YouTube, on Hope. That I know for sure. B.O.W.S is going to, Queen B, Lady B is going to share it on her platform. You're going to see
I
it,
already know.
and when it's going to be awesome. I'm looking forward to really being able to sit down and meet you guys face to face, sign your copy of your book. We will also be selling books there as well. So if you don't get the book on Amazon, when we at the event, you can definitely come in and purchase the book then.
And how much is the
And I'll
book on
still be
Amazon?
selling books. The book on Amazon is 1750, I believe, 1750. Come out with tax about 18 something, but about 1750 on Amazon. Come out, go buy it, get your copy right now, and I promise you it will bless your life. And shout out to Lady B, my wonderful wife, who is doing her thing on B.O.W.S. Awesome, 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 awesome woman. And I thank you for letting me come on this show and share my book.
Thank you for being here. You're welcome, sir. Anytime, anytime. Thank you so much. Next time you won't do it because you're late. So let's not be late.
I was like,
Okay.
attitude.
Alrighty. Thank you so very much. Well, that's how you can reach it. And is there any other contact information that they can get in contact with you?
Um, you can contact you right now. Just contact me on Facebook via Facebook page. Inbox me. My Facebook page is a public domain, and like right now,
What
we're
is your
just trying
Facebook
to push the book.
page name?
Sherman Boone Jr. That's my Facebook
And
page name.
can you give the description of the picture because there's a lot of them?
Oh, the picture's gonna have "There's Another Me in Me." Got a picture of me and my wife and and our daughter on the page as well.
All right.
That's it.
Thank you so much.
Love you. I'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night. All right. There you go. Come go get the book, guys. Go get the book. Go get the book, y'all. Um, it's a really good read. I that's what I say. It's not, as you can see, it's not that big. So, all right. Well, that was it, and y'all have a good night. I'll hopefully we'll see you guys next week on Wednesday, 7 p.m. Be there, be square. How you do it? Boom. All right. I'm Lady B. I love you guys, and I mean it. Have a wonderful night, and please always and forever stay safe. Good night.